What is the difference between having a dream and it being your reality? 7-8 years ago, I dreamt of these moments where I was working with people. This was my full-time job, the office that you're seeing. Every little moment was a vision at one point. But what's the difference between me dreaming about it and actually living it? We're going to be breaking that down in today's episode, hoping that it will inspire some of you guys to get out of this dreaming phase and actually step into and make it your reality. But before we begin, you already know what we're going to do. Let's take a deep breath in right now. And a deep breath out. The first thing I want to share with you is the ego wants to want more than it wants to have. I need you guys to understand this quote. This is by Eckhart Tolle. The ego wants to want more than it wants to have. The truth is we want to desire about what we want in our lives more than we actually want to have it. And it's crazy when you're hearing that. You're probably thinking, nah, what are you talking about? I want it so bad, Minhaz. You see, that's the problem. We want it more than we actually want to have it. Because having a certain reality means being a completely different way. I want to think of it this way. You thinking about what you want isn't the same person as you having it already. You see, if you know about the law of attraction and you know about manifestations, you literally get what you are, not what you want. So therefore, if you ask yourself the question, who would I be if it was already here? Would I be the same person that's desiring for it? Or who would I be if I already had it? You'd be a completely different person, right? How? Habits. Simple. Your habits. The way you go about your day, the way you think about things, the way you show up in your day, the way you show up for your work, the way you show up for your dreams, the way you commit to your dreams. You see, me creating this office was one of those moments where I had to fully just step into this. At the time, I had no students and I created this office because that's how determined I was. If I was asking myself the question, if I already had it, how would I make that decision? I'd say, do it, Minhaz. If I could see the future version of myself who already had it all, what would he say to the Minhaz now? He would say, Minhaz, don't even think twice. You're feeling inspired, do it. Do it now. You're going to bring this reality closer. It's no longer going to be a dream. Whereas before, this room had a mattress and I used to sleep in that mattress just dreaming about this. You understand? And I know many of you guys that are listening and watching this, there was a time where you're probably still dreaming about what you want. But the truth is, you're that dreamer. The identity of who you would be if you already had it is a complete different person than who you currently are. And that's where you're simply manifesting what you are. You're not getting what you want. It's not just going to come and knock on your door. If anything, you have to prepare the room for what you want. And then it's going to knock on the door. And when it does, you can open the door because you're ready. Here's the crazy thing. So many people believe that once they find the partner that they've always wanted, then they're going to become the person that they want to be. But the truth is that a perfect man or woman will come knocking on your door and you won't even open it because you don't want them to see what's inside. Because you're not actually ready to let them in. Because if they open the door and they see what's going on, they're going to run. They're going to think, you're not that person. You're not the right person. And even you know it because you don't even want to open the door. But what if you prepared the room perfectly for the opportunity that you want to call in? And then when it came, you best believe you're going to be standing there firm. You're going to be shitting yourself. You're going to be scared. But you're going to open that door because you've been waiting for this. You've been preparing for this. You know, in Islam, there's a saying, the bird must jump off the nest to catch the worm. Many of us who are dreaming is like the bird sitting in the nest, waiting for the worm to climb up the tree into his nest. Or God to be like, here you go. No, even the bird has to jump off the nest to catch the worm. So in other words, what am I trying to say here? You have to prepare for what it is that you're asking for. And I'm telling you guys, I've invested thousands in programs, in coaching programs, and I know it's the difference between a man who's doing what I want to do and where I was at and where I am at is simply the conviction that they have in the steps that they take because they've been there. And this is where faith is needed, right? Especially where you are now. When I was trying to start my coaching business, I understood one thing. It was like, and the relationship that I wanted to be in. It's like I'll ask myself, who would I be, right? Am I that person now? I was like, no. I need to let go of a lot of things. I need to change a lot if I want to be that person that I think I would be. And I wasn't ready for that. That's the truth. At the time, sometimes if you're that person, you ask yourself that question and you're not ready to let it go, then you're not ready to let it in. Do you understand? You're not ready to let it go. That means you're not ready to let it in. And that's okay. Sometimes you're at a stage of your life where you're not ready for what you're asking for. But if you feel like you are, start there. Prepare for what you want. Prepare as if it's literally you're ready. I hope this episode inspired you. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and I'm going to tell you guys that the biggest thing you can do for yourself is simply to prepare for who it is that you want to be, what it is that you're trying to call into your life. Reverse engineer the process, and I'm telling you, it will show up quicker than you can even imagine. And when it does, and you don't even mind taking your time, because that's how convicted you are. When it does, you will open that door because you've been waiting for this moment. You've been waiting. That's the difference. And I want you to see every professional athlete that you've ever seen, people that achieve the impossible. They're the people that were convicted before they even had the guarantee that it was going to happen. They showed up like it was guaranteed. And if you're someone who has faith in Allah, understand that you show up and Allah will meet you halfway. And if He doesn't, maybe it wasn't meant for you. But the lessons that you learn along the way of you committing to something, you take it on to the next. And understand that characteristic that you build. There's a saying that I always say, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. But it's not the treasure that changes your life, but who you become the moment you step into that cave. The lessons I've learned from building my own business, I can take into everything else in my life. Everything. Whether this business succeeds or fails, I will take the characteristics that I have developed into everything. So there's no failure. So simply ask for what you want. Ask Allah. Pray for it. Prepare for it. And that's it. But when you prepare for it, become consistent in the action. Because when you're taking the action and you're preparing, it is scary. When I was building this office, it was scary. It was like I was letting go of who I was to become who I want to be. You know how scary that felt? It felt like I don't know who I am anymore. I cried in this room when I was stripping the walls down. If you see my old video, you see this wall was covered in pictures. When I was stripping it down, because I knew what I wanted. I knew who I had to become. I was like, oh my days, I don't know who I am anymore. I was crying. I feel like I just don't know who I am anymore. What's happening? And Allah bless me, alhamdulillah. That's all I'm going to say to you guys. Gonna keep it short and sweet. Like I said to you, prepare for what you want. Any guy that you see that's made the impossible possible, watch the way they came up into that reality. They prepared like it was coming, like it was guaranteed. And that's what people call them a bit crazy, but that's what people admired about them the most. They kept showing up. And I'm telling you, that was the same thing that I did. And I'm telling you, that's the same thing that you need to do. Get out of this whole dreaming reality. That's how it starts. The desire to change, it starts there. But don't get caught up there. Make the changes. Prepare. Hope this inspired you. And if it did, drop a comment down below. Ask me any questions that you have, and I'll make a whole episode on it. And if you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, please leave me a review so other people can find my podcast channel. And guys, share this on your Instagram stories, and that will really help me get this out there. And make sure you tag me. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, one last thing, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek, but it's not the treasure that changes your life, but who you become the moment you step into that cave. Peace and love, and salam alaikum.